Hi gang, Bobby Gass here. A couple of days ago I was watching a video by Richie. And then Bipper answered the call a day later. I watched his video too. And, you know, Richie called out a whole bunch of us to join in this contest. Or for me, it's going to be a threat. I don't want to be joining a no contest, but he called me out. I'll show you what I mean.
Anyway, so I think a lot of people that watch my videos could join this, and I'm going to ask you to. Psyche Derek, though I don't think he watches my videos, he's got a life. Steve Carlson, Bob Bradley, Bobby Gass, I know could do a good one. Bobby Gass, I know could do a good one. Bobby Gass, I know could do a good one.
Kind of put me under the gun there, didn't he? Well, now, here you go, Pat. I'm going to start off, I'm going to do this in 45s first and then albums, right? I'm a 45 guy. I love them. Okay. Let me put my glasses on to read here and stuff like that. First one here is a square record. It's a soundstage record from with Carlos Santana and Chester Thompson, Blues for Salvador. It plays. That's the only one I got like that, eh? It's from Guitar Magazine. Yeah, Guitar Player Magazine. They put these things out, right? Carlos Santana. I bet you not many people have that one. Where am I going to put these? I'll put them there for the time being. Next up here is a really nice Mario Lanza doing Granada. I put that up actually. That's the RCA Victor Red Label series. That's from the early 50s. That's a great tune. I'm a big fan of Mario Lanza. This one here is Mario Lanza doing Caruso. Enrico Caruso. Next up here is a record that used to be Levon and the Hawks. They become the band later on. What, after they did Dylan, when they were here, right after they did these records down in California. They did 2 or 3 down in LA, or maybe it was 4. No, 4 songs, 2 records, and then they went with Dylan, and then they become the band, Levon and the Hawks. I seen them first time would be in '64. That's one of my, I love that 45. I got some history with the band, eh? Next up here, now I've shown all of these before. I've been here on 12 years, and I've shown quite a few records and played them and stuff like that. Next up here is Frank Gorshin. You know Frank Gorshin, the comedian? He was a villain in the Batman series, and the Riddler, did a 45. All the villains did. The Penguin, the Joker, who was played by Cesar Romero played one. The Penguin was there was 4 or 5 of them anyhow. This is the only one I got. I'd love to get the rest of them, eh? Next up here is sort of unusual, and not many people would have this, because this is, and I've showed this many times, this is the very first 45 that was ever made. Texarkana Baby on one side, Oh, Texarkana Baby on that's my favorite out of it, but the big song would have been Bouquet of Roses, eh? 1949, March the 31st. I was 20 days old when the first 45s come out. For sale, right? There was actually one that was sort of I don't know, a promo that come out before that. But these come out in a box set. And now for the albums. Unusual albums. Okie dokie. First up here, these guys. The Diamonds. See where it says America's Famous Song Stylists? These guys are Canadian. As a matter of fact, these guys here, their very first public performance was in my church basement, St. Thomas Aquinas. The record store, the two of them used to go to, the St. Mike's guys, Mason's Music up on Eglinton Avenue. I used to go there too, right? That's sort of a little unusual. Not many of you would have that record right there, the Diamonds. Next up here is poetry. An album of poetry. The Spell of the Yukon, Stuart Hamlin. These are all Robert Service poems. Cremation of Sam McGee and all the rest of them. And I love Robert Service, and I've got these poems in a hardcover book, right? I mean, I just love this kind of stuff. I also have another one of Service poems by a country guy. Who the heck was it? Hank Snow, I believe, right? But that one's really good. The music and everything else like that. It puts me up in the Yukon. I had a grand uncle that when his four brothers and his sisters went over to the First World War, he tried to join too, but he was too young, got caught in Canada and went home, and then he run away to another province and joined up, and then got caught in England and got sent home again, and he was so mad he took off to the Yukon. Now this was 1915 or 16 or something like that, and you imagine what the Yukon was like that in them days, right? Still a little bit of gold there, I guess, but he never got rich. He spent 17 years, he was so mad at the family, eh? Because they kept dragging him home. Got another unusual one here that I know nobody's got. It's not on Discogs, it's not no place, eh? The Rocky Road by the Sinners. Now that's on a Pentagon label, which I've never seen before, right? It's not on Discogs. I can't find anything about these guys in Wikipedia or any place else, eh? I know they're Canadian because of the music they're playing, and the two guys here, production, Bill Bessie, he's a Canadian guy, right? And, all these guys, their names, I looked them all up. Couldn't find nothing on none of them, right? I actually uploaded 2 songs off of this album, very early on, eh? And nothing to it, eh? Actually, I bought it on spec. I met a guy on the subway, and I bought 6 or 7 albums off the guy. I answered an ad in the paper, and I met the guy at a subway stop. And this one here, he wanted $15 for it, and he wouldn't take anything less. He didn't know nothing about it either, and I just bought it on spec. And here's another one that I doubt very many of you got. He's the guy who brought rock and roll to Canada. Ronnie Hawkins. This one's actually worth some money, eh? It's on an old Decca label, and it's in great shape too, eh? Or pardon me, old Roulette label, eh? And, old Levy, eh? Morris Levy, gangster that he was. Roulette Records, eh? That was part of the Teflon Don's empire. Now we also got records that are made by some of our VC members. Mark Kopernicki. I got a Derek one someplace too, Derek Higgins, but I wasn't going to pull that out. I didn't want to look for everything, right? Just some handy stuff. Another guy, the Bipper, the Racketeers, the Hillbilly stuff, Rockabilly, right? That's a couple of guys, unique VC members doing music. There's actually quite a few of them, right? How about Russian? How about Russian albums, right? Bipper showed one from Iran. Guy might have lost his head when the religious zealots took over later on, right? So that's from another country. That's a Russian record, right? And speaking of Russian records, even the Beatles, Russian records, eh? I'll show you our Russian label. Kind of flimsy, the jackets, eh? But the records are very, 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 very thick. And there's that Russian label. I got a lot of albums off of that label, actually. Half a dozen blues ones are better. And speaking of the Beatles and rare stuff by the Beatles, here is a rare Canadian Sgt. Pepper's, the marble copy Canadian. A lot of Beatle collectors don't have that, and they'd love to have that one there, the marble Sgt. Pepper's, the iconic Sgt. Pepper's. And speaking of the Beatles, rarities, Beatles on VJ Records. I got a 45 or two too, but I couldn't find my Beatles stuff, my Beatle 45s. I got 4,000 45s. I don't know where none of them are, more or less. There's the VJ label. This is in great shape too, this album. Dust cover's not in the best shape. The guy rewrote his name on it and stuff like that, but it's a VJ. Well, there you go, right there. That's I didn't have to look too hard to find this kind of stuff. That's why. You've seen all of these before. Anyhow, Vinyl Richie, gang, there's my thread. Later.